نحمده ونستعينه الحمد لله القاسم الجبارين مدير الظالمين مدرك الهاربين نكال الظالمين صريخ المستصرخين موضع حاجات الطالبين محمد المؤمنين الحمد لله الذي من خشيته تغرد السماء وسكانها وترجف الأرض وعمارها وتموج البحار ومن يسبح في غمراتها الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا العبد المؤيد والرسول المسدد المحمود الأحمد حبيبنا وحبيب الله العالمين القاسم المصطفى محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. عباد الله أوصيكم بتقوى الله وإطاعة أمره. قال الله تبارك وتعالى من بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر ولتكملوا العدة ولتكبروا الله على ما هداكم ولعلكم تشكرون. صلى الله عليه وسلم وصدق رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Alhamdulillah, my dear brothers and sisters, that we see you on the blessed days of the month of Ramadan. Alhamdulillah that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had favored us in this month and brought us together as Sa'imeen, those that they are really in totality are connected to the command of Allah. After all, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about Shahr Ramadan, He talks about Shahrullah. Yet you know, every moment of our life belongs to Allah. Then how did this happen to become Shahrullah? As simple as the last khutbah was mentioned, the whole heaven above is controlling your life today. The moon of the heaven and the sun of the heaven and the Holy Quran and the whole creation, actually you are putting yourself in totality under the same banner of heaven above. While the moon is controlling your days as 12 days, 13 days, and the sun is controlling your daily activities as كلوا واشربوا حتى يتبين لكم من الخيط الأبيض من الخيط الأسود من الفجر ثم أتموا الصيام إلى الليل. The sun from the heaven is controlling, eat and drink until dawn comes, then complete your fast until night falls. All of that means you are under the control of heaven above, and does not have anything to do with you whether you are going to change the heaven or have any ability to do anything beside that. Since you don't have that in your control, you are under the control of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yet, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. What a beautiful thing that the month of Ramadan is the month that Quran is revealed to you. 30 juz of the Holy Quran for 30 days of the month of Ramadan. If you really and every day pay attention that, Ya Allah, if it is your month, every day I want you to talk to me. One juz of the Quran, let Allah guard your life. And the aim is to establish taqwa. 1 month of the year to carry for another 11 months in the year. Taqwa. Learn. يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر. Allah wants to make it easy on you. Easy to become muttaqin. Easy لأنكم تتقون. Easy to gain, that it is not that difficult. If it was something that it was the summertime and somebody would have told me, you have to work outside, it is hot, and don't drink, don't eat, I would say, I don't want it, I don't want the job. But when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you, you see how easy it becomes to you. It is no longer a problem. You say, if I'm thirsty, I go to the source of the water, which is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If I'm hungry, I go to the source of the food. The source of the food, that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if I need to gain power, I go to the source of the power, that is Allah subhanahu. That is why the month of Ramadan, when it is too hot or it is too long, to you brothers and sisters, it is easy. And carry that easiness to another 11 months in the year. as we see, and we have talked about that, that the moon and the sun and the Holy Quran and the order of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is controlling my life in the month of Ramadan. That's the first part. The second issue that it is in this month is that I have to go ahead and, in 1 month course that is offered every year, learn how to carry this beautiful feeling, this wonderful pattern that Allah has put in my life, carry it for another 11 months. Taqwa in all aspects of my life. Taqwa. And it is, as you probably know, Imam Ali alayhi salam, the way that he put it, that the word of taqwa could be explained in a short way, that خوف من الجليد والعمل بالتنزيل والرضا بالقليل والاستعداد ليوم الرحيل. Inshallah ta'ala, each and every one of us today have been following that pattern. First, Ya Allah, خوفا من الجليد, I have a fear of you, that you don't want me to be disobedient to Allah. So I will follow your command. And then at the same time, Al-Amalu bil-Tanzil, since Holy Quran is telling me, شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن, okay, I will go ahead and recite the Holy Quran in the month of Ramadan. And then at the same time that it says, كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون, I will follow that one, I will go ahead and make siyam too. I will fast. The same way as the fasting was prescribed for the Jews and the Christians too. As you know, they have it too. And so this amal, the action to whatever that is revealed to us, I will do that. And the third part of it is that al-ridha bil-qaleel. Be happy to what you have. Be happy, Allah, Alhamdulillah, that I am here in this masjid. Alhamdulillah that you have blessed me, that I walked and I came to the masjid. There is a brother that I was just talking to, and he's sitting among us. May Allah, inshallah, protect him. He said he had an accident and he's disabled. But he says, thank Allah that I can come to masjid. Al-ridha bil-qaleel. Be happy to what Allah has given to you. That's the pattern of Allah for all of us. Don't say half of a cup is empty, but rather always half of a cup is full. And finally, وَالْإِسْتِعْدَادُ لِيَوْمِ الرَّحِيلِ. Don't say, I am not going to leave. I will live. We don't know. Many of us, you probably know what's happening in our Middle East. You probably know what is going on in our Palestine. Those that they wanted to wake up for suhoor, the bomb they killed them last night, and the night before, and for 65 years. Therefore, what they are doing is what Allah wants them to do. What you are doing, pray for them, that inshallah they will be victorious against the kuffar and munafiqeen. Be ready that the day shall come that I don't know when it is, whether it is another hour, another minute that I'm talking to you, the breath stops. It's a day that I have to say, Allah, I am happy to come to you. I'm happy that I do not have to do anything, that when I get to you, I say that today I want to get back. Return me back. Return me, so whatever that I have left, I finish it up. I won't tell that one. I say I have finished, and I'm up to date with all of my words today, and I know whenever that Allah wants me to come, I will be with them. يريد الله بكم اليسر ولا يريد بكم العسر. Allah wants to make it easy on us in the month of Ramadan. Easy to follow His command. Don't say, I am hungry. Say, His command is with me, you will not be hungry. Especially for our youth. Don't say how long is left until iftar. Even though when you say how long it is left until iftar, you become more hungry. But once you say, you said it, and I will follow it. Like the brother that he said the other time, that was it too hot for you? He says, I want for myself the day be longer and becomes much more hotter to prove it to him that, Ya Allah, I love you and I will follow your command. That is against the hunger. That is against the thirst. That's against your own desire. When my desire comes to work, then I have problem. Allow me to open up a parenthesis here to the iftar issue. You probably know, in this masjid, every day we have 1 hour before iftar, we read a juz of the Holy Quran with some commentaries, some translations. And then we make Salat al-Maghrib. Maghrib and Ghurub is a time for Salat. Allah subhanahu in the Holy Quran says, ثُمَّ أَتِمُّ الصِّيَامَ إِلَى اللَّيْلِ. Complete your fast until night. Night. Not إلى المغرب, not إلى الغروب, إلى الليل. Therefore, what's the meaning of iftar? Take this word, that خَيْرُكُمْ مَنْ تَأَجَّلَ لِلْإِفْطَارِ. Iftar is to get closer to my fitra. The Father of Samawat wal Ard, the one that He put every particle of the earth and heaven together, I am a part of it. And the day of the month of Ramadan, I moved, every particle of me says, I want, I replace it with Allah want. So I became closer to my fitra. So I pay attention to my iftar. Therefore the Father of Samawat wal Ard will become happier with me that you became, every particle of yours says, command of Allah rather than water, food, my spouse, all of that. You prevented yourself from that. And then you, whether you want to translate the iftar, the fitra, to particles, to the DNA, to the atom, that's up to you. But what is your fitra? Is every particle of yours that was put together, it is your fitra. Fitrat Allah allati fatana an-nas alayha. Fitra of Allah is the way that He puts you together, that you are that part. Therefore, when you come to your iftar, you have moved from the state of I, me, myself, to Him, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only, and He is governing my life. That is one of the beautiful parts of our fasting in the month of Ramadan. Yet you probably have heard, and you know it. Our Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he mentions it. Ayyuhan nas, people. The fasting is not only for us, it is you that you are between Allah and the people. You have to tell it to the Christians. If they say, are you fasting? Say, why aren't you fasting? If a Jew tells you, are you fasting? Say, yeah, why aren't you not fasting? Because it's for them too. Of course, they have changed it to much different ways and different pattern of their life. But at the same time that we are talking about, our Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he puts it up and he says, Ayyuhan nas, O people, inna abwabul janan fi hadhihi ash-shahr mufattahatun lakum. You know that the gates of the paradise is open to you all. Why? That's what Allah wants from you. And it is open. إِنَّ أَبْوَابَ الْجَنَّةِ فِي هَذِهِ الشَّهْرِ مُفَتَّحَةٌ فَاسْأَلُوا رَبَّكُمْ أَنْ لَا يُغْلَقَهَا عَلَيْكُمْ. And ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He will not lock it up to you. Is it open to you? What else do you want? Where else can you go that such a blessing and such a favor has done to you? That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, you are in complete form. You are under my control. I have told you what to do and you are doing it. The sign from the heaven that it is governing your life, completely your obedience to that one. Therefore you become in totality the friend of Allah. For another 11 months, ask Allah and la yuqbalu alaykum. So it does not lock it up. Ask another 11 months, I would like to be under the banner of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's command. And I want to follow it. The month of Ramadan, for some of you, as Imam Ali alayhi salam, the way that he put it, is for some of us, it's just a little bit of hunger and thirst. That is not the month of Ramadan. The word of Ramadan, which is peak, and Ramadan is continuously adding to the peak of your obedience. That is Ramadan. That you learn from it, not to become hungry and thirsty. That is not the aim. Or somebody, in fact, when I told him that why aren't you fasting, he says, I know how the hungry people feel, so I don't have to taste it, or I don't have to practice it. That is something that it is given to them by illiterate people. No, the month of Ramadan is not to be hungry a little bit to know how the hungry people live. It has a lot to do with only you and Allah and taqwa that you're supposed to do. And finally, the numbers are going to be finished. Ya Allah, how many days is the month of Ramadan? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, look at my heaven, I will tell you. The first crescent of the moon of Shawwal will tell you, course is over. The huge university that you attended is over. You, inshaAllah ta'ala, have reached your Laylatul Qadr anyway. You came to the know that the power of Allah is governing your life. And if you came to that concept, inshaAllah ta'ala, then your celebration and the graduation of yours is Eid al-Fitr. Returning me to my Fitra. Udatina al-Fitra. Bring me back to my Fitra, to whatever that I'm supposed to be. And if you do, what did Allah tell you in the Holy Quran? After you took complete the numbers, then He says, glorify, takbir of Allah as He guided you. You say, Allahu Akbar, Allah, Alhamdulillah, ala muhadana. وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. So you be thankful to Him. وَلَهُ الشُّكْرَ عَلَى مَا أَوْلَانَا. Then you chant and you say, Alhamdulillah, Allah, on the Eid al-Fitr, that you were my guidance. And I'm thankful to you that I will carry this concept of 1 month into another 11 months. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that the door of the paradise that is open to you will not be locked up by our silliness, by after Ramadan. Say Ramadan is finished and then I don't have anything to do with you. وَالشَّيَاطِينُ مَغْلُولَةٌ. You know that shayateen, they hate you today. They don't like you anymore. Alhamdulillah that they don't. الشَّيَاطِينُ مَغْلُولَةٌ. The shaitan of my nafs is locked up. It doesn't have any power to move against me. Why? Because Allah is with me. My particle of my body says Allah, 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 Allah. No, shaitan doesn't have any room for it. The shayateen are locked up. فَاسْأَلُوا رَبَّكُمْ أَنْ لَا يُسَلِّطُهَا عَلَيْكُمْ. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that another 11 months He does not control your life. We all know what is shaitan. Shaitan is in my nafs. Shaitan, do not look at it at outside something, some power that is not, it's somewhere else. And the nafs al-ammaratum, the soup, this is my nafs, my desire that is running my life. And then doing all kind of bad things. And then, if this shaitan of me become active against Quran, if I look at the mirror, one shaitan is in action. I become shaitan. And watch out. So inshallah ta'ala, we will not go in the path that Allah doesn't want us to go in that path. Inshallah ta'ala. And of course, the most beautiful part of this khutbah is من حسن منكم في هذا الشهر خلقه كان له جواز على الصراط يوم تزل فيه الأقدام. Inshallah, our akhlaq has to become okay, much better. Our attitude towards each other must become better. When you are really, sometimes I talk to my young brothers and sisters, especially during the time that they are really saving iftar. I say, would you respect the others a little bit? Would you wait a little bit because your parents were fasting? Learn from now. Tomorrow is too late. Let the parents pick up, and inshallah, you get a little bit into your plate, sit down and finish it, come back again. Learning how to respect each other. How to pick up food enough in our plates that we don't have to throw it in the trash can. Alhamdulillah, in this masjid, we try to obey Quran as much as possible into our actions. The food, not even the rice should go into the trash. Either it belongs to the animal or to the human, or to the birds and bees, whatever they want to eat. After all, they are around our house. They need to eat. Got to feed them. And therefore, in this month, inshallah, if our creation, our way of living becomes better, on the day of judgment, that we are all shaky and we don't know what to do, on the Sirat, that we are probably not too sure where to go, on that time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes our hand and says, I carry you to the other side as you are supposed to do. May Allah inshallah protect us and make us to be what He wants us to be. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. وَالْأَسْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. وادعوا الله سبحانه وتعالى وإن شاء الله تجيبون من الإجابة. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه. الحمد لله الذي هدانا لهذا وما كنا لنهتدي لولا أن هدانا الله. الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد المصطفى صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. اللهم صل على محمد وعلي وفاطمة وحسن وحسين وتسعة المعصومين من ذرية الحسين عليه السلام. اللهم أجل في فرج مولانا صاحب العصر والزمان. عباد الله اتقوا الله وكونوا مع الصادقين. The other part of this beautiful khutbah says that وَمَنْ وَسِلَ فِيهِ رَحِمَهُ وَصَلَى اللَّهُ بِرَحْمَتِهِ يَوْمَ يَلْقَاهُ. Sometimes we get mad at some people. We don't want to see them. They want that he goes forward and he connects himself to the one that he has cut off from him. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the life of hereafter will be connected with him. Many part of this fasting is not only food, but rather it's the complete form of living wise with each other. The life of us with each other. وَمَنْ أَكْرَمَ فِيهِ يَتِيمًا أَكْرَمَهُ اللَّهُ يَوْمَ يَلْقَاهُ. A yatim, an orphan, you know that. There are orphanages throughout the whole earth. Unfortunately, some of our brothers that I want your prayer for them, inshallah ta'ala, that they have helped the orphanages and now they are in jail in Texas. May Allah inshallah say, there are many of these people, the orphanage, that you know that I have witnessed it myself. When you go to them, they love to jump at you. They need father, they don't have it. They need someone to give them a true love, they don't have it. May Allah inshallah help us to be what He wants us to be, inshallah ta'ala. And today, one more time, what's happening in our ummah? Man asbaha wa lam yahtamma bi umur al-muslimin falaysa muslim. Anybody that wakes up in the morning and do not care about the umur of the Muslim, do not care what's happening in the land of Islam, is not a Muslim. My brothers and sisters, does Quran by any way tells you that you have to go ahead and beat the people in order to make salat? Is there such a thing in the Quran? It's impossible. Is Quran telling you those that they do not believe? Even at the time that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he was governing Medina, the Jews and the Christians, they were among the Medina. Did he tell them, either you become Muslim or I will cut your hair off? Today, unfortunately, our ummah is such a big agony and a problem. At the same time that the killing of the Muslim by so-called Muslims is within the ummah, at the same time, the killing of the Muslims by non-Muslims is happening too. A continuation and the bombardment of our Palestinian brothers and sisters. You heard probably, an 11-year-old boy is telling to his father that, Dad, is it painful when you are being killed by the rockets? Which is more painful, by the rockets or the house comes, claps on your head? Dad, why don't you take us somewhere that we are safe? What would you do if your son asks you this question? They don't have any way to go. They are only in Palestine, and they are being bombarded continuously with these regions. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this blessed month of Ramadan that the du'a'ukum fiha mustajab. Your dua in the month of Ramadan is accepted. Why? Your breathing is with Allah. Every breath that you take It's because of breathing with Allah. It's completely your obedience to Allah. Your dua, inshallah ta'ala, is mustajab. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that free our nations from the agonies of the kuffar and munafiqin, inshallah ta'ala. Allahumma ashfi mardana, warham mawtana, sallim dinana wa dinana. Allahumma salli Islam wa Muslimin wa Allah. Ya Allah, bless our Muslims throughout the earth. I know that you have said, Kana haqqan alayna nasrul mu'minin, has been written upon me the victory of the believers, the mu'minin. But Ya Allah, mata nasrullah. اللهم إنا نشكو إليك فقد نبينا وغيبة ولينا وكثرة عدونا وقلة عددنا وشدة الفتن بنا وتظاهر الزمان علينا. وصلى على محمد وآله وإنا على ذلك بفتح منك تؤجله ونصر تعزه وسلطان حق تظهره ورحمة منك تجللناها وعافية منك تلبسناها برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. صلى الله على محمد وآله الطيبين الطاهرين. عباد الله إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون ولذكر الله أكبر والله يعلم ما تصنعون. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. قوموا إلى صلاتكم يرحمكم الله.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحیم. اعوذ بالله من الشیطان الرجیم. یا ایها الذین آمنوا اتقوا الله وآمنوا برسوله یؤتکم کفلین من رحمته ویجعل لكم نورا تمشون به ویغفر لكم والله غفور رحیم. خطاب یا ایها الذین آمنو در قرآن بیشترین خطاب 89 بار خداوند خطاب میکنه به ما که ای مؤمن، یا ایها الذین آمنو. و هرگاه این خطاب در قرآن بشود هیچ واسطه ای بین ما و خدای رحمان نیست. بی واسطه خداوند با ما سخن میگه. فرمود یا ایها الذین آمنو، آیه 28 سوره حدید. اتقوا الله و آمنو برسوله. دو کار رو شما انجام بدید. خداوند 3 کار رو برای شما انجام میده. اول تقوای الهی رو پیشه کنید. در خطبه های نماز جمعه حاج از سوره به دعوت به تقوا کردن. عباد الله اتقوا الله. و یا اینکه گاهی خطیب میگوید اوصیکم به تقوا الله و نفس. ما هم خود رو باید به تقوا سفارش کنیم، هم دیگران رو. تقوا یعنی نگهداری، که انسان همیشه جانب خدا رو نگه داره. در زندگی ما تعارض پیش میاد. وقتی با گناه مواجه میشیم یا باید خدا رو بگیریم کار روی نفس بذاریم یا خدا رو رها کنیم به گناه و به دل بپردازیم. میگن اتقوا الله، خدا را نگه دارید. گناه رو، لذت حرام رو فدای خدا کنیم. پولی مشتبه به انسان عرضه میشه. اتقوا الله، آدم خدا رو نگه داره، پول غیر طیب رو رها کنه. موقع نماز آدم میخواد کار دیگری انجام بده، احیانا فیلم ببینه. اتقوا الله، خدا رو داشته باشید، او دلخواه خودتون رو رها کنید. در انفاق اتقوا الله یعنی مالی رو که دوست دارید از دل بکنید ولی رضای خدا رو نگه دارید. این که قرآن تقوا انفاق رو جزء معیارهای تقوا به حساب میاره. یا ایها الذین آمنوا اتقوا الله، زندگی خدا محور زندگی شما باشه، تقوای الهی رو پیشه کنید، همه جا خدا رو انتخاب کنید، هرچه دیگر بود کنار بزنید. در حدیثی که امام موسی بن جعفر سلام الله علیه به هشام فرمودند صلوات حدیث طولانیستی جملش اینه که خداوند قسم می‌خورد، به عزت و جلالتم قسم، هیچ بنده‌ای خواسته من رو بر خواسته نفسش ترجیح نمی‌دهد مگر اینکه جعلت الغنا فی نفسه، من بی‌نیازی رو در قلب او قرار میدم و همه فی آخرته، او رو متوجه آخرت میکنم که بر آخرتش کار کنه، در حالی که مردم فقط به دنیاشون فکر میکنن. و کففت له ضیعته، همه امور زندگی او رو کفایت میکنه. چهارم و زمنت السماوات و الارض رزقه، آسمان و زمین رو ضامن رزق او قرار میدم. پنجم و کنت له وراء تجارت کل تاجر، بالاتر از تجارت هر تاجری من برای او برنامه ریزی میکنم. یا ایها الذین آمنوا اتقوا الله، یک. دوم و آمنوا به رسوله، به رسول الله ایمان بیاورید. خب ایمان که داریم، خودتون میگید یا ایها الذین آمنوا، پس این ایمان خاصه. یک معناش ایمان به ولایت امیرالمؤمنین علیه السلام و یک معنا باور احکام پیغمبر، اون چرا که پیغمبر فرمودن حلال ما خوب ببینیم، باورمون بشه حلال خوب. اون چرا که گفتن حرام خبیث و بد ببینیم، چون پیغمبر اکرم حلال رو فرمودن، طیب رو فرمودن حلال، خبیث رو گفتن حرام. هر چه طیب بوده یا حل لهم الطیبات، وقتی گفتن حلال میتونیم عیبی نداره. و یا حرم علیهم الخبائث، هر چه آلوده بوده گفتن حرام. پس به پیغمبر ایمان بیارید. اگه گفت حرام بدونید یک لباستی توی حرام هست، حالا اگه گوشت خوبه، اگه مشروبه، اگه دروغه، اگر غیبته، اگر رباست، اگه مال مشتبهه، هر چی که هست یک لباستی توشه که گفتن حرام. ایمان بیارید، باور رسول الله رو باور کنید. خب اگر شما این دوتا کار رو انجام دادید، تقوای الهی و ایمان به رسول الله، ایمان خاص، یؤتکم کفلین من رحمته، خداوند اولا 2 بهره از رحمتش رو به شما خواهد داد. معنا کردن یعنی رحمتی در دنیا و رحمتی در آخرت. خداوند به انسان متقی در دنیا هم رحمتش رو نثار میکنه، نه فقط آخرت. این یعنی هم دنیاتون رو خداوند تحت حمایت میگیره، هم آخرت. و یجعل لکم نورا تمشون بهی، دوم این که نوری برای شما قرار میدهد که با اون نور راه میرید، در قلب شما ایجاد نور میکنه. که این دنیای ظلمانی که واقعا هر چه آدم نگاه میکنه، بی خدایی، بی آخرتی، غفلت، مظاهر دنیا چنان دلها رو گرفته که شیطان هر جور دلش میخواد اداره میکنه. واقعا در دنیایی که فساد رو اخلاق میبینه، آلودگی ها رو زیبا میبینه، تقوای دینی رو زشت میبینه، خب این دنیا دنیایی است که خیلی ظلمت ها رو در قلب انسان ایجاد میکنه. شما اگر تقوای الهی پیشه کنید و به رسول خدا ایمان بیاورید، خدا نوری در قلب شما قرار میدهد که با اون نورانیت راه میرید، ظلمت‌های محیط رو شما اثر نمی‌گذارید. تقوا نتیجه داره. و سوم و یغفر لکم، بعدم خدا شما رو میآمرزد. یه از خطاهاتونم که از شما را خدا با سر میزنه گذشت میگه. والله غفور رحیم، خداوند آمرزنده است و مهربان. یا ایها الذین آمنوا اتقوا الله و آمنوا برسوله. هر چه پیغمبر گفته باید ایمان بیاریم و عمل کنیم و هر چه اهل بیت مطهر و اطرت رسول الله گفته. و صلی الله علی سیدنا و نبینا محمد و آله الطیبین الطاهرین. خیلی تشکر میکنم از باشه‌ها که لطف کردن، هم از شما که حوصله فرمودید در واقع. بازم
with many thanks to our Dr. Of course, his word was loaded and beautiful. As he read in Surah 28 of the Surah Hadid, the ayah that he says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu ittaqullah wa amanu birrasuli yu'tikum kiflayn min rahmatihi wa nuran tamshuna bihi wallahu ghafurur rahim. This ayah, as it says, there is 5 categories that he mentioned that it is in it. One is, we come first, Amen, believers, first have Amen. Of course, we're talking to us, inshallah. Ittaqullah, first taqwa is the issue. But within the taqwa, of course, he elaborated, taqwa in all aspects of our life, not taqwa only on one thing. Everything that we do should be taqwa on that one. And the second one, Amanu bil-Rasulihi. To become believers in Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasulullah is inshallah ta'ala connected to all Muhammad. So Muhammad, by all Muhammad is a part of each other. So we become believers on beginning of Imam Ali to the rest of the and then you will be, of course, using the halal of Muhammad, halal of Yawm al-Haram, haram of Yawm. Of course, this is where you become halal and haram. And then whatever that is khaba'ith, this is haram to you. So you become the follower of that pattern that he said in your life. And and of course, يُعْتِكُمْ كَفْلَيْنِ, the two things that in this dunya will give you a rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and at the same time the life of hereafter too with it. And then nur and tamshon, the light of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will govern your life. You will live with this thing. Therefore, when taqwa comes, all of that will become a part of your life. And then, inshallah ta'ala, wa yaghfir lakum, so I brought one drop of the beautiful ocean of his words. May Allah inshallah protect him and bless him for his salamati, salawat ala Muhammad wa